For the past few weeks, I've been talking about great men of God, men like David and Joshua and Moses, and how God worked in their lives and used them. I want to speak to you about David. David was a man after God's own heart, and I believe we can look at sort of a general overview of his life, and we can see some things that we can really learn from. David seems to be a contradiction. I mean, he was a man after God's own heart, and yet he committed adultery and murder. David was a man who was great in the kingdom of God, and yet he fell hard. And so we see a lot of things that are contradictions. And so I think we can learn something. The first thing that I think we can learn from his life is that there is a constant battle in every one of us between the flesh and the spirit. There will always be that battle. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you've walked with God, how much you love the Lord. There is that battle. The Apostle Paul wrote about the battle between the flesh and the spirit. And so we need to make sure we walk by the Spirit of God and not by the flesh. Now, the flesh is those inner desires of ours that really don't please God. And those things bring us to defeat. And David had walked with God with his heart after God, the things after the Spirit. But then there came a time in his life where he made a choice, and that choice was not to walk after God's Spirit and what God wanted, but he walked after the things that he wanted. And one thing led to another, one defeat to a greater defeat, and he found himself in just a terrible position. There will always be the battle between the flesh and the spirit. And we need to learn to yield to the Spirit and not to the flesh. It's something that you will never get past in your life. And that brings us to the second thing, and that is that age. Age doesn't mean that you've arrived. You see, I think sometimes, and I've been walking with the Lord for more than 50 years now, but there's a great temptation to think, well, I've arrived, I'm living for the Lord, I'm serving the Lord, I'm doing all of these things, and I'm past all of those things, and I don't have to worry about that. No. Age does not secure your victory. You see, what secures your victory is a humble heart. One of the things about David was when he was young, he had a humble heart. And when he saw the giant, he said, I'm not afraid of the giant. God has been with me. God will be with me. He didn't trust in himself. He trusted in God. And that's why God was able to use him. But you see, when he got older, he thought, I've made it. I've arrived. I'm the king. I'm the one who has all the power. Look what has happened in my life. I can look back. No. You see, he failed when he did that. And you will fall if you do that. So you need to look to the Lord. No matter how old you are, remember that age is not what secures your success. It's God who gives you that success, and he gives it to one who walks in humility. So walk in humility all the days of your life, depending upon him and choosing to follow the Spirit and not the flesh.